Guys, welcome back to another episode of Doors to Deals. Jim and I are here today interviewing my great friend Cole. Cole's been at Three Doors for I think about 9 months or so. He's had a lot of success early on. He is one of the nicest people, one of the most responsive people I've ever gotten to work with. So I'm really excited to chat with Cole today and see some of what Cole's had success with early on, starting out in his career, and hopefully he can shed some light that might help you guys starting out in your real estate career. What's going on, Cole?
Not a whole lot. I really appreciate all the kind words. I'm just really excited to be here. I've never been interviewed before, so I'm just really excited to see where this goes.
Hey, Caleb, I think that's a great way to set expectations. I've never been interviewed before, so like expect nothing, and then hey,
yeah, I just want to give everybody a fair warning. Like, I don't know what's going to happen.
If I know Cole well enough, I'm sure there's gonna be some knowledge drop here.
Oh,
So Cole, you got your license last fall, correct?
Yeah, so I was officially licensed November 30th, November 30th or December 1st. I can't remember. But yeah, so I'm, relatively new. I officially joined Three Doors mid-December. So I've been on the team for a little over half a year, and it's been going wonderful. I mean, since I've joined, I've learned so many new things. I've met so many wonderful, amazing people. Just the Three Doors culture is definitely where I belong.
What do you think led you to want to become a licensed agent, and what made you want to take that step to becoming an agent?
So so I was a carpenter before I was a realtor. I was a carpenter from 18 to 21, and I absolutely loved that job. That's what I thought I wanted to do with my life was continue carpentry, gain some experience, and eventually start my own carpentry business. But I had an epiphany one day. So I moved up to Edwardsville about a year and a half ago. And originally my thought process was I'm going to move up here, get a carpentry job, learn more about how to run a business, and ultimately start my own business. Well, I had an epiphany one day while I was looking through jobs, and I was like, why would I want to break my back my entire life whenever I can, essentially do the same thing, except sell the properties, help people buy the properties rather than building them. So it's the same satisfaction, I guess you could say, because carpentry was a very satisfying job. At the end of the day, you could look at the work that you've done. That you've done a great job and you're building a home for a family. So now it's like I've kind of taken out that physical labor and I'm doing more of the mental work. I'm making sure that the process is smooth. I'm making sure that, my clients get whatever house they want. And I just love real estate. I love getting to meet new people, to build new relationships, network, all of that good stuff.
I think you brought up something really interesting there that I do want to talk about because this is directly related to some issues that we're dealing with in our business. And it's the difference between like doing a job like a carpenter and being a business owner. Being a carpenter, I also was a carpenter. It was really great. When we had problems, we immediately solved them. Oh, this 2x4 is bowed. Go to Home Depot, get another 2x4. Is business owners, and me and you were dealing with this a lot as we work together. There will be issues, but we don't really get to figure out if we fix those issues sometimes for a couple of weeks because it takes them playing out, seeing what happened. And then sometimes you fix an issue, but it creates another one. How do you enjoy that compared to being a carpenter to being a business owner now? What do you think is, what are the pros and cons of each? Or what's your opinion about that?
So a few things, as far as being a business owner, you have to rely a lot on other people. Whereas, whenever I was a carpenter, all I had to rely on was myself. As long as I had the materials and the tools, I was going to get it done. But yeah, as a business owner, you just don't really have the time to go and do that sort of work. You've got so many clients that you have to take care of, and you always have to be there for your clients. That's priority number one. So if you can find somebody else to do the work to a property or, whatever it may be, then as a business owner, we're definitely going to go that route so we can give more of our time to our clients. So that's kind of the way that I see it.
Absolutely. And so getting in, you jumped in, you kind of did a little bit of the agent thing and you jumped over to our lease purchase division. What's some advice you would give to somebody starting out, and where did you see that you found some success because of what you did early on?
Yeah, so starting off, the best advice I can give is to be more organized than you have ever been in your life. If you are not organized starting off, you're going to get overwhelmed very, very quickly. And that was the biggest thing I struggled with starting off is, not knowing where to start as far as organization, which caused me to become extremely overwhelmed for the first, month and a half, 2 months of my real estate career. And I was only a traditional agent for 2 months before I was asked to join the lease to purchase division. And so whenever I joined the division, that's whenever my, all the organization came together. I knew exactly what I had to do to prevent myself from being overwhelmed. And yeah, it's been going great since then. But don't get me wrong, as a traditional agent, I did get that organization down, but it was right before I was put on the lease to purchase division whenever I finally got it down. So I went from getting one thing down to, going to a completely new thing and having to figure that out. But it didn't take nearly as long as, whenever I first got my license.
Yeah, so Cole just cracked me up there. He's like, "Oh man, I for 2 whole months." You have no idea
No,
how
seriously.
you feel there, Cole. For
Uh,
2 whole months.
Yeah. I was losing my mind for 2 months, just not knowing where to start, what to do. And, networking was also a huge issue of mine because I'm not from around here. I'm from 2.5 hours south in Southern Illinois. So I didn't know anybody up here whenever I first got my license. And that was one of the most difficult things I've had to do is just, really get outside of my comfort zone, talk to all kinds of random people, make new friendships, relations, all of that stuff.
it's interesting because coming out of your comfort zone and talking to people doesn't seem like something that's difficult for you. And if it is, you do a really good job of portraying that.
Thank you. I mean, I feel a lot more comfortable now talking to new people. Before I got my license and everything, I wasn't a very, sociable person. Like I wouldn't really go out of my way to start a conversation with somebody I didn't know, and now, after being in it for 6, 7 months, I've really found an interest, in just everybody. Everybody knows something that I don't. I can learn from every single person I talk to. And so that's really the mindset that I have now whenever I, make my phone calls, talk to new people. It's what can I learn from you and how can I help you?
Every conversation is an opportunity to grow and learn. I love that. That's so
Yeah,
such a great
exactly.
mindset to have. I think if more people had that mindset, they'd be a lot more successful. Um, that's fantastic. So lease purchase, it's your baby now. You're all the
Oh
way in
yeah.
it. You're no longer a normal agent. Tell us about that. What do you love about it? What are some of the cool stuff about the lease
And what
purchase?
and there may be people not knowing what that is. So what is that too? Yeah.
Yeah. So lease to purchase. I know that not a ton of people know about this. They don't really know it's an option. So it's pretty much you rent a property for a few years, and each monthly payment is going towards your down payment until you get to a certain down payment position. And then once you get to that certain down payment position, that's whenever your principal reduction starts. And for us, we do a 3-year lease. So at the end of the 3-year lease, once they have that down payment, then they can exercise their right to purchase. They can either stay with owner financing or go get a loan. So it's really pretty straightforward. And I absolutely love it. I love the program that we've got. It's just absolutely amazing being able to take families who are stuck in a rental situation and quite literally put them on the path to home ownership. there's so many people in America right now that feel like they're stuck in a rental situation because, they've got tons of medical debt, student debt, their credit shot, self-employed. And, it's like I said, it's just absolutely amazing being able to put them on the path to homeownership when otherwise, they would just have to rent because they just cannot qualify for a loan.
What do you see? Because I'm sure a lot of people don't think that there's many people out there, and it's really the people that get left behind by the system, the people that everyone just forgets about. What do you see a lot of them that happen to them? Is it the student loans and the medical debt that is the reason they can't buy a home?
So a lot of what I've seen is, yes, medical debt. That's a big one, single mothers, that have to pay for the birth of their child, which is, nobody should have to do that. People that were just in bad accidents, recently divorced people that they really like the lease to purchase option. Pretty much anybody that can't qualify for a loan. I mean, that's the best way to put it, is anybody that can't qualify.
Last year, I was thinking like, man, how do so many people have medical debt? We have health insurance. And then I fell at the beginning of this year and it cost me $9,000 after my health insurance. And I had this light bulb like kind of moment about the lease purchase world. I was like, holy cow, my health insurance only covered this much. I had to come $9,000 out of pocket. How many people does that happen to? And it messes up their credit for the rest of their lives. That's a ton of people that the medical system really, really screws over because health insurance isn't worth crap anymore. So I think it's really, really amazing that you guys are, you're so involved with that and how passionate you are. And I see that because I know if I had been in a different point in my life, that could have ruined me for a long, long time, that amount of medical debt. So
why I'm really behind the path to homeownership the way we have it structured too is the credit doesn't have to be rebounded for them to end up owning the house outright, right? It's like we even have that whole setup where we finance for 40 years and be the bank for 40 years, right? So, I like it's just an amazing service that we're doing for the community. And hey, Coles, and you're doing an amazing job, man. I really appreciate everything that you're doing to help us on that, dude. Hey guys, for those of you that are local to St. Louis, I wanted to make sure you knew about an amazing resource that we have to help do some extra deals. You can email our team at deals@3doors.com. And just so you know, we do deals with other investors all the time. Like it's been hundreds and hundreds over the years. And we've averaged over 100 deals with other investors per year for over the last 5 years. We can straight up buy the deal if you have a wholesale under contract that you want to sell. If you need funding to finance a flip, or like you're doing a BRRRR strategy, we have funding available for you. If you're trying to wholesale a deal, we're doing JV wholesale deals with other wholesalers that, quite frankly, some of the deals we're putting together for a beginner or an intermediate investor, they'd probably be walking away from because we have systems and processes and we have buyers in place that are paying top dollar for these properties. So make sure you use this resource. And the best way to get and the easiest way is to just send us an email, deals@3doors.com. All right, back to the episode. It's like we even have that whole setup where we finance for 40 years and be the bank for 40 years, right? So, like it's just an amazing service that we're doing for the community. And hey, Coles, and you're doing an amazing job, man. I really appreciate everything that you're doing to help us on that, dude.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to do this. I mean, it really is something I am so passionate about. I mean, I knew after the first week of being on the division that, this is where I belong. This is what I want to do because, I am genuinely helping families become homeowners, and don't get me wrong. I mean, retail agents, they do the same thing. They help families buy and sell homes. So it's the same thing, but we're providing an opportunity for people who otherwise would have no chance at owning a home.
Absolutely. No, I love that.
Cole, hey, real quick, can I go back a little bit? So Cole, you I highlighted this. I'm taking notes, and you mentioned kind of being very much introverted. And like, where'd you grow up again? Tell everybody your hometown.
Yeah, so my hometown is Harrisburg, Illinois. It's about 2.5 hours south of where I live right now, which is Edwardsville,
And what's
and
the
about 20 minutes from Kentucky. So in the Shawnee National Forest.
Yeah, and how many people live in Harrisburg?
Maybe 9,000.
All right, so you went from a 9,000 person town where you sort of knew everybody, maybe not everybody, but you knew somebody that knew everybody, right?
Majority. Yeah.
You're introverted, you don't like talking to people, and you had the balls to make this move. Like, how did you man up for that? Like walk me through that.
So it took a massive mindset shift. A lot of, a lot of reading. So I used to be a huge reader whenever I was in high school. Whenever I graduated and got into college, that I kind of just, fell off of that for whatever reason. I just got busy with work and life and things like that. But whenever I was in real estate school, I started to read again. I just looked up what the best books are to, really open your mindset. Not have a one track mindset. Just be open to new ways of thinking. And so I recognized that, yeah, I'm very introverted. I really never get too out of my shell. And after reading so many books and opening my mindset, I thought to myself, what's really holding me back from talking to new people, from meeting new people? It's not that I don't want to, and it's not that I can't carry on a conversation. It was just, I didn't see the point in it. And so once I really opened my mindset, read some books, it just made it so much easier. And now, I want to talk to people. I want to meet new people and have those conversations. Whereas before, I didn't even think about it. I just wouldn't even try to reach out.
Yeah, why didn't you see the point? Like, what was going on there?
I'm not really sure what the point of it was. I had just never been much of a talker my entire life. I mean, even whenever I was a little kid, typically kids are bouncing off the walls. You can't get them to stop talking. I was never like that. I was always a very quiet child. My family used to be like concerned how quiet I was. They would always tell me I was a man of very few words, and I just didn't think anything of it. I was like, I just don't really have a ton to say. And so once I really got out of my shell and, sort of brought in my mindset, that's whenever things really came together. And I knew that as a realtor, I'm going to have to talk to people. I'm going to have to make those connections and everything. So I had to switch my mindset from like it being a necessity, it being necessary to be able to talk to people. Whereas now I want to, it's not like I don't feel any pressure whenever I talk to somebody. It's like, I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you. So before, it kind of felt like almost like a chore to have a conversation. And I know that sounds kind of horrible, but I'm always, I was always happy to listen to what people had to say, but I never really contributed much to the conversation.
It was fascinating. I heard this.
So now.
Oh, what's fascinating? I heard it one time is that how interested you are in a conversation is like that energy gets like the other person absorbs that energy, right? So if you're acting just like, I don't really see the point, I don't care, I'm not interested in this. Well, then what's the other person going to be? They're also not going to be interested in it. They're like, this is boring. Why am I talking?
Exactly.
Yeah. And whereas now you flipped it to where I heard something from you. I'm curious. I'm interested. And then what do you get in back? And what do you get in return? It's the same thing from them, most likely, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know why I was like that. I really don't, but I had the ability to recognize that, that was a character flaw of mine. I just never really had genuine interest in conversation. Unless you were like one of my best friends or a family member, then I just, I kind of just didn't really put much into conversation. But now, that is completely reversed. Like, I absolutely love meeting new people. I love having conversations with anybody who wants to talk to me, and it's great. I mean, it really is. My life has changed so much just because of that.
That's so interesting. It just makes me think of the bold law. Like, people turn into the conversations you create around them, and like, you created this conversation around yourself that I was going to be this social person, and now here you are, the man of few words that now has conversations with tons of people.
Well, what's neat too about this is like you can be successful with who you are. Like, you don't, like, my parents instilled in me that a salesperson looked a certain way and that I wasn't it, and like, looking back at it, it's like, if I take a personality assessment, it's that of a mega agent or whatever. Right. But they thought that salesperson was this greasy, slicked haired, used car salesman type of like image. Right. And that was like embedded in my heart. Like, I didn't even admit I was in sales for the first 4 years of my career. That's how.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but like, and I think like at the heart of it and the key of it, guys, is like, to be successful at real estate, it's finding out what the problem is and helping people, helping them solve it. And you don't have to be this talkative person to do that. You can ask some questions and really genuinely care about the person and get to the solution. And you can be really successful.
You were paid proportionally to the difficulty of the problem that you solve.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite quotes. I don't know who is it from, but I love that quote so much. I think Elon Musk had said it at some point, but I don't know who the original person is.
That's why we're here. It's to solve problems.
I think that was Elon.
Yeah.
Yep.
The problem in a way a realtor's not needed.
Yeah, and what, that just to kind of spin off of that, one of the greatest things I've ever heard was actually from Caleb, and it's great. It's great advice. I remember I was a very new agent. I mean, I had been in it like 2 weeks, and he told me that he always tells people that he doesn't sell houses. And whenever he tells people that, they think he's nuts because he's a realtor. And the whole point of being a realtor is really not to sell houses. It is to provide the best experience possible for your client and to make sure that the transaction from beginning to end is smooth and your client gets what they want and need. A house sells itself. As long as I can let somebody into a house, they decide whether or not they want it. If they don't want it, there's nothing I can say in the world it's going to make them want to buy this house. But if they walk in, it's a beautiful house, meets all their criteria, then same thing. I don't have to say anything. The house is going to sell itself. But I'm just there to make sure that they get it. Sell
an amazing experience from start to finish. And they're going to send you referrals for life. That's the number one tip I tell all agents when they're starting in the business. Don't sell a house, sell an experience. If you can sell a great experience, make somebody love the process of buying a home, you're going to tell everyone about you. Because most people dread the process of buying a home because most agents don't give a great experience because they try to sell a house.
Right.
I'm glad you remember that. I think we're on our way to Colorado.
Like every day.
I honestly think we're going to Colorado.
No, I think we were. Yeah. And my mind was blown. I thought about that for like 30 minutes after you told it to me. And I was like, that's amazing. I never would have put that together.
That's a good one.
So where are you going, man? What's next? What are you thinking?
Man, that's a loaded question. Definitely going to continue real estate. I'm going to stay with the lease to purchase division as long as I possibly can. I absolutely love it. So passionate about it. And my next big goal is to start investing. that's really the entire reason I got into real estate, is to eventually become an investor, essentially just buy houses for people, you know? So that's really my next big goal, is to get one or two properties for investment. But yeah, just working on saving up some money so I can do that.
Nice. I love it. Where do you think, so let's say, and I like Jim kind of asked where you're headed. I like to ask it a little different. Say you're looking at this 5 years from now. What have you accomplished in 5 years? How far have you gotten from where you're headed? Like, what are the exacts? What do you want to see in 2027 that you've done?
Well, so if I were to go back 5 years from now and tell myself that I would be where I am today, I would say you're absolutely insane. There is no way you're going to be there 5 years from now. So 5 years from today, I mean, there's really no telling where I'm going to be. I want to have plenty of money invested. I want to have a pretty decent sized portfolio. I still want to be placing lease to purchase properties, whether it's, in Illinois or somewhere else in the nation, because I would love to bring lease to purchase with me wherever I end up, I really think it's such an amazing opportunity for so many people that that's my main exit strategy for whenever I start investing. That's what I want to do.
I love it.
Yeah, 5 years from now, I mean, investing, still placing lease to purchase properties, and just helping people. That's the ultimate goal, is to help people.
So if I can kind of put my coaching hat on for you, Cole, it feels like you're there and you kind of know what you want. And the more specific you can get, the more likely that those specific details are going to happen. And what I mean by that is plenty of money invested. Is plenty of money invested $3 or is it $30 million? Like all you really have to do is just start to define what it actually means. And have a really high likelihood, especially with a guy with your skill set, dude. You're a talented guy, man. You have a high likelihood of seeing it come to fruition. So,
yeah, no, it's definitely something to think about. And I do have certain numbers that I want to hit, before the end of the year, before I start investing. So I do have those numbers. It's just a matter of getting to them, and then once I get to those numbers, then I get to the next step. I'm just really taking it one step at a time. I'm a pretty young guy. I'm only 22, and I know I've got plenty of time to do the things that I want to do, but I also don't want to take all that time. I'm a very patient person, but when I know what I want, I'm going to try to get that as soon as I possibly can.
I love it. Anything else you want to say to the people, Cole?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I can say, but I don't know. I know that you guys ask for a piece of actionable advice. Something simple, something that you can do today. And
you must be a listener, Caleb.
But I've thought a lot about this, because there's a lot of wisdom that I have learned over the years, and I've come to the conclusion that the best piece of actionable advice that I can think of, that you can literally start doing right now in this moment, is accountability. Holding yourself accountable for your actions and to do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? So in our line of work, you're not going to have somebody telling you, hey, you need to make this many calls today. You need to sell this many houses. That is entirely up to us to do. And so if you can't hold yourself accountable to do the work that you need to get done, then what are you doing? You know, and then I can take my own advice. Like there are times where I don't hold myself accountable to get the stuff done that I know I need to do. And it's just a bummer, you know, it really puts you in kind of a down mood whenever you don't get that stuff done. And I just want to spin off of that a little bit and give you another little piece of advice. So one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever received, and this is something I think about every single day. It came from my boss whenever I was a carpenter, Kyle Lenz. And he said that if you are not good for yourself, then you're basically no good for anybody else. And so that is our entire job, is being good for other people. So if you can't hold yourself accountable, then, you know, you're not good for your clients. You're not going to be able to do the business that you want to do.
I like that.
So accountability, that is my actionable advice, is just being accountable.
Be accountable.
Everyone loves the results and they don't love the process, typically, of accountability. Dude, thank you so much for your time. Caleb, any other closing thoughts?
Yeah, thank you.
Nothing for me. Cole, if you would just tell the people where to reach out to you if they can need to get a hold of you and want to ask any questions, and then we'll sign on off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you can reach me. There's plenty of different ways. You can either email me, cole.vaughn@kw.com, or you can message me on Facebook. Just look up Cole Vaughn. You can call me or text me directly to my personal number. That's 618-841-4136. If anybody ever has any questions, anything real estate related, lease to purchase, I'm your guy. Just give me a call.
All right, that's a wrap, guys. For additional resources, check out our website, doorstodeals.com/096. And once again, if you're an agent trying to get into this whole investing game, or if you're wanting to invest in real estate, increase your income, we have some great resources for you. Just shoot over Caleb an email, cdavis@3doors.com. And finally, go out, live your purpose, and above all else, go after your dreams. Until next time. Thanks for tuning into this show. For more episodes and resources that will unlock doors to deals, check out our website, doorstodeals.com.